If you think today's Supreme Court is controversial, compromised, and outright quirky, simply scan the twisted history of certain former Supreme Court justices. Supreme Court appointments are lifelong, but mental health issues and ethical scandals have periodically intervened to shorten the length. John Rutledge served as Supreme Court Justice in 1795, but the unforeseen death of his wife 3 years earlier triggered a gradual unraveling of his mind. The Senate voted him out of office in December 1795. He attempted suicide shortly afterwards. He holds the distinction of being the first and only justice to be officially ousted. During approximately the same period, Justice John Blair complained of blinding headaches and rattling inside his head. His face reportedly would go numb and he would blank out towards his surroundings. He spared the Senate a second vote by resigning on October 1795. In one of the Oddities scandals, a California Supreme Court judge, David Terry, nearly killed future Supreme Court Justice Stephen Field on a train in August 1889 over a divorce case and alimony ruling. Terry assaulted Field, but was shot to death by the U.S. Marshal assigned to protect Field. The least popular judge in the court's history was James Clark McReynolds. He appeared to hate all minorities, blacks, Jewish individuals, and especially Germans. When he died in 1946 after retiring 5 years before, not a single justice attended his funeral. Hugo Black was a former member of the Ku Klux Klan during the 1920s before his appointment by Franklin Roosevelt in 1937. When he was outed, he refused to resign. He lasted 34 years on the court and is considered one of the most liberal justices in court history. Justice Abe Fortas elevated bribery and extortion into superior legal access. He remained a paid counsel while in office for a former client who was being tried for securities fraud. His help mattered little as his client would be convicted and sent to federal prison. Fortas denied accepting the funds, but opted to resign instead of undergoing closer scrutiny by the Nixon administration. Nixon would follow his precedent into his own August 1974 resignation over the Watergate cover-up. Judge Potter Stewart was author Bob Woodward's unflattering source for his 1979 book, The Brethren. Stewart naturally remained unscathed by his own commentary. His resignation in 1981 became popular amongst his peers. It is understandable that the life of a Supreme Court justice is accompanied by alternative viewpoints and constant scrutiny. Criticism is a popular American spectator sport. Sometimes one must legitimately question, however, who ultimately judges those selected individuals, establishing our legal precedents and rulings.